Oh yeah.
Hi everyone. Good evening. This is Yashvi this side from Quantsapp. Um, so today's session will be taken by Mr. Shubhankar. Thank you all for joining the webinar today. Right. So today he would be covering the tools like Manager, Architect, and Optimizer. And today's session will be more towards the strategies part. So meanwhile, you can just take a cup of refreshment and I'll quickly forward the control to Mr. Shubhankar.
Yeah, thank you, Ashvi. So hey everyone, and welcome back to the another live stream which we conduct every day at 4. So we discussing about the today's agenda. So we would be covering the tools like the optimizer. Will try to cover the architect, and last but not the least, we'll also try to look into the manager tool in the application. So that we had covered certain tools yesterday and day before. So wherein you guys can actually try around some sort of paper trading and check exactly how the tool performs, especially in the market itself. And today, as you guys know, the market is still open. So yeah, you can also check the efficiency of Quantsapp in the market as well. So now talking about so let's say about let's try to discuss the optimizer first. So now, as I do it always, wherein I don't directly, so yeah, as I do it always, wherein I don't directly jump on to the tool itself. First, we'll try to understand how this tool is going to benefit you and what the tool is all about. Okay, so now talking about the optimizer. So it's one of the most premium algorithm, and it is an algorithm of Quantsapp wherein application based upon your view, it actually directly gives you and pure actionable strategies built around your view. Okay, so sounds difficult, right? So now let's try to understand what it is going to do. So as we saw, market today, it suddenly the NSC's server, they actually misbehaved and something went wrong. So market actually they took an halt post 1140, correct? So now in such sort of instances, we get very confused as a retail trader also. We panic a lot because what happens is, let's say if I am a retail guy, okay, if I'm a retail trader or anybody, if I am a trader eventually, and if I have bought a naked long call option, okay, so there are only two possibilities. Either my view goes correct, I take away profit, I plan an exit as per my risk appetite. The next scenario comes out here is wherein if my view goes horribly wrong, so now what? The amount of premium I paid, the entire premium I give to the market directly itself. Because my view has gone horribly wrong. I don't have a proper strategy to protect my view. And eventually, especially for those who had naked call or put options open in the market, especially when we have the expiry aheading tomorrow, to avoid such sort of instances wherein if I have heard this a lot, wherein I hear a lot of things wherein they say that option writers usually make a lot of money, but eventually if a similar sort of event happens, so whatever the returns you as an option writer have been making in the past, so eventually your PNL sheet goes haywire. If a single trade, I it doesn't require me to tell you that a single negative trade or a single big move in while if you are writing an option, if your view goes horribly wrong, you lose out like in ample amount of money. So now optimizer, let's say I don't want to go for a long call. What maximum as a trader I can do is I can either go for a bull call spread, buy and add the money, and short two or three, four strikes out of the money call option as per my view, as per my direction. But now there are ratio calls, there are bull call ladders. But let's say I want to optimize my view. I am bullish on Nifty, okay? But if I am assuming कि निफ्टी का यहाँ से टारगेट 15,500 should be achieved, okay? Long call is going to eventually pay me off a lot. But अगर व्यू गलत होता है तो क्या? Bull call spread, my profits get limited. My if my stop loss is hit, my PNL chart also differs. But in optimizer, there is a tool. I'll go on to find strategy. It will help me to build a strategy around my view. So for a generalized example, let's say Nifty. I have selected Nifty. I can select my direction. Either I can go bullish, I can be bearish, I can be either ways or an oscillate, which is sideways or flat. I would say that a range bound market. Let's say I am bullish on Nifty right now. CMP is 14,755. It would be automatically fetched. Now it comes very, very handy, especially when we are looking out for something for a positional kind of a trade. Also, you can do it for an intraday as well. So now, as the market is open, let's try it out. Like, let's say I'm bullish on Nifty, but my view is up till 3rd of March, which is one day prior to the next expiry. Although I can pick up any of my date, so मैं यहाँ पे 3rd of March pick कर रहा हूँ. So I have picked 3rd of March, and then I am assuming, or let's say I'm expecting the targets of Nifty as per my trading styles, whether I can see the open interest levels and the charting analysis. It doesn't require me now to tell you that how you can define your targets and your stop losses. You can define it as per your trading patterns and as per your risk appetite. I am assuming the target of 15,300 to be achieved by Nifty on the target date of 3rd of March 21. Setting a stop loss at 14,500. Going to optional parameters. Okay. So now each trader has his own different capital. Each trader has his own different risk appetite when it comes to hitting the stop loss. Okay. So यहाँ पे मैं ये input दे रहा हूँ कि capital जो है मेरा, I am ready to deploy 3 lakhs. Okay, that's fine. But if my stop loss is triggered, what is the risk I'm ready to take? Which is 1,000. Maximum I want is rupees 1,000. And so I'll put it in this way कि अगर मेरा stop loss hit हो गया, if my stop loss is triggered, my maximum risk lies is rupees 1,000. Okay. Now selection of the strike prices. Nobody wants an illiquid strike, correct? So it is minimum strike and maximum strike is basically a range bound. It will help us out to find out and permutation and combinations of various strike prices in this zone. So 40 below 14,300, no strike price would be taken into consideration, and above 15,500, no strike price would be taken into consideration. So let's make 15,900. So over here we need to be cautious while keeping the liquidity factor into mind. Skew down, skew up. Obviously, it's the volatility factor. Like how much are you expecting from the current volatility? The volatility to shoot up or cool down. Okay, to take a cooler down approach, or it to give a sudden spike. So I can give that inputs 10%, 12%, whatever it can be, depending on the market situation. Obviously, I'll skip it now. Let's say I am not giving it any inputs. Application will do its work. It will consider 25% on the upper side and 25% on the lower side. Filtration, you can keep it as optimal, or you can sort it down either by reward to risk, absolute profit, or return on investment. I'll always keep it on optimal. You can always change it. Maximum legs, kitne leg ka strategy you want, how many legs you want a strategy, like how many leg strategy you want. If I'm comfortable enough with 4 leg strategy, I'll simply select 4 legs. Maximum outputs. How much number of outputs, like how many number of strategies you want once you click on apply. So I can either go for a limited risk strategy or I can select an all strategy. So I'll go for an all strategy and I'll click on apply. Okay. So अगर आप लोगों में से कोई, if anybody of you comes across me and actually asks me कि can you just recommend me any of a strategy कि I have a bullish view, I am planning for a positional trade, so what combination should I do of various strike prices कि मेरा स्टॉप लॉस पे जो 14500 है वहां पे my maximum risk is 1000 rupees. I will give a straight answer which is no. Manually I can't do it because understanding the payoff charts, opening, putting the data into 10 different Excel sheets, it's kind of gets a lot confusing. So we have the optimizer combining 2 million combinations and permutations. Give your inputs, give inputs about your view, which I have given right now, and I'll click on get strategy. Simple, crisp and precise, wherein directly and pure actionable strategy is deployed by the application out here. Okay. So wherein I can see the call ratio backspread. Okay. I can see a bear call ladder. I can see a ratio call spread. I can see a bull call ladder and a bull call spread. I can pick any of those in which basically looking at various factors which we'll look into. So what is the target profit? Okay, if your target gets achieved, what is going to be your return? On the target date, by the way, it's not the return today right now. नहीं तो अभी आप place करोगे and 51,000 का, it's not going, Nifty eventually is not going to achieve the target of 15,300 today, and neither you are going to earn a good profit of 50,000 in a single go or in a single day. That's kind of an impossible view to be predict. So just give a realistic input. Okay, so this is the PNL as on the target date, which is 3rd of March. So let's try to open it. Okay, so risk profile is limited in this strategy. My view is up till 7 days from here. Okay, so leg 1. Okay, what I have to initiate, which is I have to buy 600, which is 8 lots of 14,850 call option of 4th March expiry at 140.45. And in front of that, to cover the risk, I need to short 4 lots of 14,500 CE call option of 4th March 21 expiry, obviously at 352.45. ATM right now the volatility is 20.43. Skew up, skew down, as I said, volatility factor IVs यहाँ से बढ़ गया या IVs यहाँ से cool down हो गया. How much maximum percentage you expect it to be? If Nifty achieving 15,300, if Nifty reaching up till 15,300 and volatility remains the same somewhere around 20.43, your return would be 51,494 approximately. If your stop loss is triggered, you are still getting certain amount of money, which is 4,700 approximately, if everything remains the same. अगर यहाँ से skew up हो गया, IVs from 20.43, if they shoot up by 25% from the current IV, you see the best IV panel, that becomes your return. कि 15,300 पे, if Nifty reaches, if your target is achieved basically and volatility gives a spikes, IV spike up, skew up happens by 25%. 51,000 is the return I make, whereas even on stop loss 8,800 approximately, I am going to make a positive return. Skew down happens, volatility takes a cooler down approach from here. This is kind of an approximate figure, which is 51,465. I am going to get on 15,300 and 14,500. If IVs cool down, if they take a cooler down approach, 1,000, somewhere around 1,300, 1,200, you are going to get a positive return, which is approximate. It is not going to be exactly the same, but yeah, If the factors remain the same, we'll end up pretty much close to it. And you see minimal, maximum slash minimum PNL within the forecast. Okay. So now what it is now, this is completely a new term. So let's try to understand. कि target and stop loss दिया है 15,300 and stop loss is 14,500. So this is the range. ये range है that I am expecting, wherein lower bound I am considering at 14,500, upper bound I am considering it as 15,300. So my maximum PNL, my maximum profit and loss as on the target date lies on the level of 15,300. Nifty reaching 15,300, my maximum PNL would be 51,000. My drop, which we call my drawdown within the forecast, 14,500 से 15,300 में अगर निफ्टी अगर कहीं पे क्लोज होता है जहां पे मेरा मैक्सिमम लॉस कहां पे हो सकता है, इट इज एट द लेवल ऑफ 14,850, which is 48,000. So ये तो देख लिया कुछ. I say that we saw the PNL chart of some selected levels or some expected levels of ours. But if I want to check the entire PNL chart कि ये पर्टिकुलर स्ट्रैटेजी का जो है, बाकी अभी निफ्टी जरूरी नहीं है कि इधर 15,300 क्लोज हो जाए या 14,500 क्लोज हो जाए. इट कैन क्लोज एनीवेयर बिटवीन दैट एज वेल, राइट? So we have a solution for it. You can just click on the analyze button, yellow color line highlighting you the PNL chart, and this thing I can see directly. I just have to place a cursor, that's it. I'll directly get to see on what level as on the target date what my approximate PNL would be, wherein 14,580 if Nifty reaches somewhere around that, my approximate PNL of this strategy would be 9,000. Talking about the dip, last thing I want is Nifty closing in the range of 14,580, on the upper side 15,060. So this is the range basically I am feared about. So either I would say in this strategy while executing and call ratio back spread. So the last thing I want over here is my strategy, or I would say Nifty, to end in the level of 15,000, 14,580, on the upper side 15,100. So that's, I can identify the zero as the break even, and even anything below it I am into losses, anything above it I am into profits. So this is kind of a strategy which has been a call ratio back spread, and eventually you guys can obviously try out multiple strategies. Okay, and let's try to build up something else. Okay, so this is the call ratio back spread. I saw the initiation, I saw the spread, and eventually if my view, even if it is going horribly wrong, still my profitability is on the greener side. So that is going to be and kind of an add-on for you, wherein the whole point was कि अगर मेरा stop loss है, so if you guys see, if my stop loss is triggered, focus on stop loss over here in call ratio back spread is 4780. Focus in bear call ladder is 106. मतलब अगर stop loss trigger भी हो रहा है, it has to be below this thing, which is 1,000 rupees, which I gave inputs about. So let's try to understand the call ratio back ratio call spread now. एक लॉट बाय कीजिए, वी हैव टू बाय वन लॉट ऑफ 15,150 कॉल ऑप्शन. एक लॉट बाय करना है एट 46.7, शॉर्ट करना है टू लॉट्स एट 15,400 कॉल ऑप्शन एट 16.75. टारगेट हिट हो गया, आई एम स्टिल at a good return, which is 7,478, 7,500, somewhere around that. I won't repeat the best IV and the worst IV case over here. Now, talking about minimal and maximum PNL within your forecast. So, in this range, which is for 15,300 and 14,500, Nifty closing in that range, you're still losing not that much, not the entire capital you pay while buying an option. It's minimal, which is 990, somewhere around that. Okay, approximately. And talking about, let's say what you want is Nifty to go beyond 15,000 levels. Okay, so you start earning certain amount of profits out of this strategy, a ratio called spread. So now let's try to understand about let's try to give it an today's view itself. So let's try to understand कि आज का क्या strategy recommend कर रहा है. So this is going to be quite interesting. So let's say कि मेरा view आज तक का ही है, 24th of Feb तक का ही है, wherein giving it a realistic input 14,900 is my target, setting a stop loss of 14,600. These are the levels I defined. 3 lakhs, let's reduce the capital 1 lakh. Okay, I can select my ranges again. Risk, my maximum risk I want is 1,000 rupees even if my stop loss is triggered. So that's how optimize the optimize the word itself, it is saying that making the maximum out of your resources. So that's what we are doing. So I am into optional parameters, defined my capital, defined my risk, defined my range 14,300, 15,900, skew down, skew up, I can define that. Maximum legs, how many leg strategy I want. Outputs, how many number of outputs I want once I click on apply. So let's try to understand what application gives us. Let's try to give it a 15,000 mark. Clicked on apply. So long call, a naked call option buying, but I can see I have to buy 3 lots at so and so price, which is 15,100 call option at 3.95. So I can see what is going to be my return if I execute my long call, which is today EOD, by the way. आज का डेट डाला है, right? You can see the days is 0. So it is showing me how my approximate PNL chart of this strategy, which is a naked call option buying, is going to look like. I analyze it to check on what level, what return I am making of this strategy on an approximate basis, somewhere around the day end, or I would say on the day end itself. Let's try to understand something else, a kind of a spread wherein we get a good FT amount of return. Ratio called back spread. Reward to risk is 23.54. Target profit, target hit हो गया 9,900. Stop loss hit हो गया 400, 500 का loss. Draw down. Check how it is. Here is the spread, which is 2 lots at 14,750 call option at 84. Short 1 lot of 14,550 call option at, of this expiry, by the way, February expiry at 231. So yeah, that is kind of an optimizer tool, and you can make the most out of it, especially during such volatile situations wherein nobody has a clear cut idea about Nifty going an upward spike or a downward spike. Basically, just because it's not the case, just because Nifty's and Bank Nifty's options are kind of on the priced on the lower side, right? We get a lot size at very low as compared to the stock options prices. So we go ahead and do random call options buying, and we do random call option sellings based upon the her trading. But eventually, if you want a optimized strategy to be built around your view, go for the optimizer. It's one of the most unique tools and one of the most unique, I would say, strategy builders or algorithms, I would say that, wherein just you have to give inputs about your view, and pure actionable based upon the market scenario would be given by the optimizer itself. So yeah, you can try out n number of strategies. So this is how I can change my script. Let's say if I want to change any of it, I don't want to go ahead in indices, so I can pick up any of my script, let's say TCS. So I can change my view, although let's say I'm bearish. Okay, just for an sake of example, by the way, I am selecting tomorrow's date. Let's say how it performs. Target, if I'm bearish, setting a target of not very big target, I'm giving it, let's say 2870. Okay, and setting a stop loss of 3,000. So these are kind of levels I defined. Changing my capital, let's say 2 lakh as stock options, adhering to the risk of let's make it like 3,000. Okay, minimum strike, maximum strike, range bound. I won't repeat all of the things, just for the sake of example. I'll click on get strategy. So these are something strategies which have been recommended, or I would say which have been brought in front of your screen by combining 2 million combinations and permutations in a single go. I can open any of it. and check on what level how much return I can make out of this strategy. So I can either analyze it to check on what level what is going to be my return, wherein zero becomes a break even. You see, anything above it is in profits, anything below it's into the losses. So yeah, that is from the fine strategy. So this is from the fine strategy. So eventually, if you guys want to, then you guys can obviously try it around in the optimizer tool. Let's say if you have a view, but you're not sure about it, that 100% it is going to go in our favor. So you can't risk it with a naked call option buying, right? So here is the tool. Also, for I forgot about the theta decay totally. So wherein each and every passing day options are a wasting asset, wherein each and every passing day you lose out on something called as the theta decay, time value of money. So to tackle those views, it will help us out to combine various combinations and permutations and identify and very optimal strategy. So yeah, if that was it from the fine strategy tool in the optimizer. There are still couple of, or I would say still three different sections left in the strategy optimizer to be covered, which we will be looking into. So meanwhile, if you guys have any queries, you can post those in the chat box. I'll definitely look into it. So yeah, so now let's try to understand some different parts of the optimizer. So which is find specific. So let's say after trying out optimizer a while, which I'll definitely show how you can give it a try, rather than directly deploying your hard-earned money into the market, how you can make the most out of Quantsapp and understand the tools much more efficiently. We'll definitely try to look into it, some other parts of the Quantsapp tool. So now let's say symbol, I can select any of it. I'll stick to Nifty for a better example. Sticking to Nifty, defining the direction as bullish. Okay. So I have, you can change your view always. It's not an hard and fast rule ki bullish hi hoga. So you can always try to tweak your forecast. I'll click on next. So यहाँ पे क्या हुआ कि basically I gave everything application needed, like the my view and everything on the first, and then I have to select my strategy. Ki if I, let's say after trying optimizer for a while, I figured out that only a bull call ladder strategy actually solves my purpose with regards to options trading, and it actually suits my trading style, and it adheres to the risk which I am ready to take. So I'll click on a bull call ladder. Okay, I'll select my target date, again the same process. So let's say let's try to give it an input about Friday. Let's see how the optimizer works. Giving it an view up till Friday, having a bullish view. I am setting a target of 15,000. Okay, and setting an stop loss of 14,600, or let's make it like 14,500. So these are the levels I defined again. I can set my optional parameters as we did in fine strategy. It's kind of the same thing, but it's, I would say, a filtered version of it, wherein I can pick up my predefined strategy, setting maximum strike and minimum strike, which is 15,900 and 1,300. Or let's make it a bit closer so that we get a liquid one. So yeah, 1,400, 14,000 on the lower, on the minimum strike, and maximum strike I set it as 15,900. I'll click on apply and I'll click on get strategy. So these are all the predefined bull call ladder strategies which have been identified by the optimizer. I'll explain you guys one, and the rest the things remain the same. I'll open any of it. What spread I have to initiate? Buy one lot of 14,000 call option of 4th March expiry, which was at you can see when was the price updated. It was at 789. Sell one lot of 14,200 call option of March expiry at 595. And similarly, I have to short another leg, which is 15,850 call option of March expiry at 4.75. And these are the returns paid by my entire strategy to me if I'm holding it 2 days from here. And basically it's the same thing we did in the fine strategy. It's one and the same thing. I can see what return is going to be provided on what level to me. Okay, so if somebody wants, you can try it around with some different view. So let's say I want to go for a long call butterfly. Okay, I'll pick a very longer duration of view for this strategy. So let's make it like 3rd of March again. Okay, setting and target of 15,400, setting and stop loss of 14,500 again. But only thing out here is I only want an long call butterfly strategy out here, nothing else. Click on get strategy. Here you go. Now you don't have to actually select various strike prices, draw your own PNL chart. You can simply come out here and you can check on what level, what PNL you are going to make, and what is your spread. As simple as that. So now, talking about implementation part. So now nobody is going to deploy any strategy directly into market. And if you guys want to give it a try, like let's say if you want to check how the strategy performs in the market actually, just click on the export button and export it to the strategy manager. Okay, so what is strategy manager in a single word? It's a paper trading tool wherein you can track all of your strategies. So we'll look into it later on, the strategy manager part. So I'm just showing you to export your strategies to the manager. So I have clicked on the export button. I'll click on tracking. I can set my M2M alert, which is mark to market. कि मान लीजिए यहाँ से if I want and return. So let's say मुझे यहाँ से at least I want a return which is of 4,000. जहाँ पे I want a notification to be sent. So yeah, that can be done. You can set it which is 4,000, and you want an alert. Let's say कि अगर यहाँ से if your strategy का PNL reaches negative return of 2,200. So you can give that inputs and click on save, and the strategy with the name of modified call butterfly would be saved automatically in the strategy manager. So let's skip the strategy manager part. We'll try to cover it in the later session of the demo. So now we covered the find specific. कि find strategy में क्या होता है कि basically whatever strategies the optimized strategies are for a particular view of yours, those will be highlighted. But in find specific, आप लोग एक strategy, you are finding something like let's say a bull call ladder or bull put spread or a ratio call spread for that matter, whatever strategy it can be. Only that strategies would be recommended for you, and that's how it works. So if I see the either ways, so I can see the strap, I can see the long call butterflies, I can see the short condors, and you guys can obviously give it a try, which will give like coming into a later part of the session. So now what is my forecast? Nothing sort of the critical things are the fine strategy and fine specific. So mine forecast kya hai? Basically my forecast is whatever you do in the optimizer, okay, in the fine strategy and fine specific, it automatically gets saved into the my forecast panel. यहाँ पे वो automatically fetch हो जाएगा. I can click on it, and then again fine strategy, it will guide us through in the step 1. So nothing sort of critical into it. It's kind of same thing as we saw it in fine strategy and fine specific. Constraints are the additional constraints which do affect your strategy, which is what is the capital you are deploying, what is the risk you are taking in front of that update. So additional tuning which is needed to be done. If you want to, you can do it. Mm, what are the maximum expiries you want to involve in your strategies? Minimum return on investment, multiple for ratio spreads, multiple for back ratio spreads, minimum open interest OI lots, okay, which is 10. Filter strategies by I can change it. So basically, it's kind of helping the fine strategy and the fine specific to get some tuning. So nothing sort of critical. It's kind of helping us out to tune our fine strategy and the fine specific outcomes. Okay. So additional factors which do affect our strategies. I can also set one lot multiple, which is एक lot के पीछे कितना I want to take a risk. That's everything. Like rest the things are the same. Like nothing sort of very much. I would say nothing sort of any particular data point which should be which is very critical over here. But still, yeah, if you want to go ahead with it, you can always go on to constraints to modify your strategy and to tune your strategy better. So yeah, I guess that was it from the strategy manager, wherein I'll just try to sum it up very quickly. Wherein fine strategy, I'm getting an optimized strategy, whether it can be anything. It can be a bull call spread. If I'm bullish, it can be a bull put spread. It can be a ladder or anything. It can be anything. It will recommend whichever strategy is optimal. In fine specific, let's say I'm either ways now giving you guys an either ways example. Okay, I'm expecting the market to be volatile, but I only want to see the straddles. Okay, setting the target down as let's make it like 14,400, and on the upper bound I'll make it 15,200. So that's sort of target up I have gave. Optional parameters I can set on one lot multiple as well कि एक lot के पीछे how much risk I am taking, but I would say capital and risk will give you a clearer picture. Set your risks, and yeah, then you're good to go. Just click on apply and then click on get strategy. So none of the strategy matches your risk condition. So eventually the view that we gave, none of our strategy is matching the risk condition. Okay, so let's try to increase our risk a bit, which is 10,000. Let's check what application. Yeah, so let's try to not enough profitable strategy found. So yeah, even if it is not hard and fast rule कि अगर आप input देते हैं तो randomly it will recommend anything. अगर if there is no strategy, then it wouldn't recommend you any of it. So yeah, that was the case. So let's take like 15, like click on apply. So I think I have made myself clear wherein skew up, skew down not being made. Try tweaking the skew up, skew down forecast. So yep, let's try to give it an input about 35 percentage, so that let's try to check what exactly outcomes happen. So yeah, again there is nothing appearing. So yep, that's how it is. Basically you can check with any of your view, try it around in the optimizer, and then it will directly recommend us a strategy. So I'll click on get strategy, and I am into ratio called backspread. I can export it to the strategy manager as we did. And apart from it, let's say तो ये तो view we saw up till जो 7 दिन है यहाँ से, I eventually it is indicating me कि अगर मैंने 7 दिन तक इसको hold किया, if I hold this strategy up till 7 days from here, what is going to be my possible outcome, right? But मुझे अगर बीच में ही exit करना हो तो, so what can be done? So which we will look into, and meanwhile we'll take a small hold just for the Q&A part. Also we have Miss Yashvi. She has something to share with you guys, so she'll take over the controls, and meanwhile I'll also take a small halt, and you guys can uh, just post your queries if you have one, and she has something to share with you guys.
So, hi everyone, Yashvi here again. So I hope you all are enjoying this session so far. A small request to all of you, if you can just pause the webinar for a minute and give your honest feedback on Play Store, as Google algorithm will help to reach more people, and also more traders can learn our application. So I'll just guide you with the process quickly. So you can just open Play Store. Just type Quantsapp. Just below the logo, you will find an option of review. So you can just click here. I'll just put 5 stars, and you can write a small review as well. Also, those who are using iOS, you can just open Play Store and give your review. I'll just mention the link in the chat box as well. Right. Once you are done, you can just post it, and it would be great if you can acknowledge me on the chat box once you are done. Yeah, so thank you very much for your feedback. If you have any query, just post it out on the chat box, and I'll quickly forward the control to Mr. Shubhankar so we can take it forward.
So hey, again this is Shubhanka. Yeah, so yeah, thank you Yashvi. So now we were into कि अगर मुझे strategy, if I don't want to hold this strategy up till 7 days from here on, so what to do next? ये तो मुझे EOD PNL as on 7 days from here on, it is giving me an PNL chart. So we have a solution for it. Just tap on the three dots on the top right corner and open it into the option architect. So wherein it will show me an approximate PNL chart, how it would have been today EOD. The white color line is showing you the current day's PNL chart, which is EOD. Apart from it, यहाँ से if I want to see कि अगर let's say if I want to see कि यहाँ से कल का PNL क्या होगा, so you see the day slide bar. I'll just forward it to 1 day from here, wherein I'll directly get to see how my PNL chart is going to look like 1 day from the current date. So this is how basically you can try tweaking your forecast, wherein if I want to see कि चलो मुझे 7 days तो नहीं, but after 5 days I want to take an exit. So I can build my custom strategy, and I can constantly keep an eye on the payoff chart, how it is going to react like. So especially for the tools, or I would say especially for the strategies wherein the buying weightage is on the higher side. So theta decay kicks in very drastic format. So wherein it is very necessary to keep an eye upon whether is it feasible option to hold it up till the expiry or not. So here is the solution, which is the option architect, wherein the white color line, as I said, it is showing you if I am keeping the day slide bar on 0, it is showing me the PNL chart as on today EOD. Forwarding it to 1 day, it's showing me of current day plus 1, which is T plus 1 PNL chart. It is showing me on that. Nifty reaching 15,000 levels. I am making 15,049 levels. I am making a profit of 3,700 roughly. And the yellow bar over here, the yellow triangle you see on this thing, on the graph, it's showing you how your PNL is going to look like on expiry, okay, of 4th of March. I want to see 6 days from here, like 2 days before the expiry, how my strategy is going to pay me off. I can always give that give inputs about the IVs, ki agar results and everything are done, results, the budgets, if they are already done, and if I'm expecting the IVs to cool down, to take a cooler down approach. I'll give it that inputs to have a better picture in my frame in to my strategy, and that's how basically you can make the most out of it. Wherein uh, the optimizer, it will help us out to pick up and strategy. Architect आपको ये बताएगा कि how the day on day chart, or I would say how the day on day PNL is going to look like. And apart from it, I would say that if you want to make modifications, that can be done. Just click on the edit symbol. If you want to delete any of your legs, that can be done. Just click on the delete box. So if you guys have any particular strategies, you can obviously come on to the optimizer tool. In the architect tool, just open, just give inputs about your legs, and then rest things would be managed by the option architect, by which is a custom strategy builder. You can check and day on day basically PNL chart key how your strategy is going to behave on day basis. Apart from it, I can directly export or save this strategy to my manager. Okay, manager, as the name itself, it is suggesting ki it is helping you out to manage your strategy. Okay, or wherein it's helping us out ki it's a paper trading tool basically ki agar if you don't want to directly implement a strategy in the market itself, so that's how it is. Wherein you come on to architect tool, click on the three buttons again, and just you can give inputs about your margin and everything, and elsewhere you can click on skip. Okay, if you don't want to, you can just ignore it. You can save it, and automatically the strategy, the entire spread of yours, it would be exported to the strategy manager, and then again you can follow the same drill, wherein you can set your alerts. So let's open the option, the manager tool in the application. So I have opened it. So the four different panels appear. Okay, so अभी ये तो हमने देख लिया कि optimizer में strategy था. So I exported to the manager, to check the day on day PNL chart. But what if I have my own set of I want to do my own PNL chart. So yeah, if I want to check my own performance of my own spread itself, or my own naked call option or put option buying. So if I would highly recommend for those who have not watched yesterday's and day before yesterday's videos, so you can watch those as well to get a better drill about usage of the application. I'll go on to add position. Meanwhile, I can either select a predefined strategies or a custom strategy. I'll go with the custom one. Okay. So as we had covered a lot of tools, so paper trading tool was kind of, I would say, missing to be covered. So I am going to cover it today. So let's say if I want to pick up a script, okay, which I can always do from triggers, I can always do from FNO news, I can always do it from FNO scanner, which we had did it already. So I wouldn't repeat any of the tool again. You can obviously use the past yesterday's and day before's videos for your reference. So you'll get a better hang of it, like what I'm trying to say exactly. So let's say if I want to make any position in the market, okay, so taking an example, let's say I want to buy an TCS, okay, or not, let's say TCS, let's forget about TCS. Let's say I want to go ahead with Reliance. Okay, I don't know right now what is going around with Reliance, is just for the sake of example. So I haven't seen the data points yet. So, but the practical implementation of the tools, you can do it in the manager tool if you don't want to deploy your hard-earned money directly into the market. But there is no barrier to an entry, right? But eventually, if you guys don't give it a try, you won't come to a conclusion whether how you can make the most out of it. So manager tool is a tool where you can try out your maximum positions. So let's say for giving you an example, I saw triggers. Okay, I saw open interest, I saw the built up. Okay, this is how I ended up upon a decision. Okay, which is the future price is fetched automatically. You can give inputs about your margin, which is optional. So looking at this drill, which is not an hard and fast rule कि ऐसा ही होना चाहिए, but it's for an example for your reference, wherein I decided to go for next month expiries 2060 call option. Okay, clicking on get CMP, it will help me out with whatever the CMP of that option is, whatever the price of that option is. Quantity, I can increase or decrease my quantity, buy or sell. Let's say I'm buying a naked call option in Reliance. I'll click on add. If I want to buy another leg, I'll click on put option. For an example, I'll add, but now let's say I added it by mistakenly. So once you see that two pop-up has been appearing on the bar besides the checkbox. So I'll click on it once, and let's say I don't want to go ahead with the put option buying. Either I can edit it or I can delete it. Okay, so I have deleted it. So now I'll click on the checkbox and I leave it on tracking. I can set my alert as per my risk appetite. Okay, elsewhere as we had did it already, or elsewhere I can skip it directly. So wherein I'll directly get to see how my positions, how they are performing in the market itself, wherein how much mark to market value on this particular naked option, which is Reliance's call option buying of next expiry, how much return. So right now it is zero. Once it refreshes, it will, the whatever the price would be, whatever the mark to market return would be, positive or negative, would be appearing out here. Okay, so here you see it's the Godrej is Godrej prop. I saw triggers. I went to the open interest to check my view. Also, I checked the built up. So margin was required somewhere around 44,600. Mark to market right now it is providing me a huge return of 22,523. Okay, similarly it is the case with SBIN. Okay, so you guys can obviously try it around for paper trading rather than directly placing an order into the market. Also the strategies you are seeing, like ratio call spread, I never go and manually generate any spread. I be reliant on the optimizer for it. So this is the Muthoot Finance ratio call spread, which was directly exported from the manager over here. I'll open any one of it. So opening it, you will get to see at what date it was created, how much mark to market value each leg has provided. Okay, so if you see the call option, it's 750 is the quantity, it's one lot basically, and I can see at what price I initiated the spread and what the price is right now. And yeah, it would be for each and every leg of yours. And let's say if you want to plan an exit or book profits or something, in the bottom right corner there would be an archive button. So just click on it once. So either you can delete your position so that your updations stop and your kind of profits get freezes. Your profit freezes, or I would say your profits get booked, and it will still remain your records. So I can quickly archive it or I can delete it. So it is archived successfully. So you can try it out for maximum number of times, and then whatever the positions would be, whichever I archived it, so it would be in the archive section over here. Opening it, it will directly show me how much exactly, how the return was, basically to do and trial and error part, and backtesting, I would say, of own usage about the tools. So that can be done out here, and you can sort it down from your symbols and everything. So yeah, that is from the manager tool, wherein nothing sort of analysis to be done into it. It's kind of a paper trading tool. Just wanted to make a point wherein rather than going and directly deploying your money directly wherever possible, like directly deploying your hard-earned money based upon any data point you see, just give it a try. Just backtest your usage of the tools for a while, for a couple of weeks, 3 weeks, and as long as you aren't getting comfortable with, and then you can take it forward in the real market itself. Or else if somebody has enough conviction who has already traded but he wants to keep a track on those, yeah, even that can be done in the manager tool. It's a paper trading tool basically, nothing sort of analysis to be done. Okay, I'll click on it. Again, I'll click on three dots, okay, and I'll open it into the option architect, okay, which we already saw. And the alerts, whatever pop up, which application it gave you, those would be seen in the alerts panel over here. I can see which are the closed alerts. I can see which are the open alerts. So yeah, that is from the manager tool. Like it's a purely a paper trading tool, nothing sort of analysis to be done into. So I would highly recommend for those who have joined the session recently, or I would say who have missed the past session, which is yesterday's and day before. So just have a glance on it. So we have 45 analytical tools in the application, wherein each tool has it is one of the most beautiful application I have seen, wherein you are getting one stop solution for your options trading, whether you are an intraday trader or an positional trader, or you only be reliant on the technical data. We have the charts, so you can always try it around the various combinations and permutations of various tools in the application. So I think I have made my point pretty much clear upon these tools. Apart from that, that was it from my side for today. But still, there is a very interesting thing, which is we are also live with the courses as well, wherein we have the courses included in our application, wherein if let's say if you want to build a successful strategy using OIPCR, okay, so I would say that Mr. Ritesh Chauhan's strategy is kind of a one of a kind strategy, wherein it is also back tested. So you will get all each and every minute detail about the strategy on in our learn section in our application. Also you'll also get it on our website as well. So I'll if somebody wants to go ahead with, I'll highly recommend you though, wherein you see it's from the basics of options has been covered, understanding of open interest has been covered, how to build a strategy is also covered, so backtesting of the strategy is done. Most important is risk management strategy. There are a number of participants who they execute strategies day in and day out, but proper risk management is what gives us an edge. Optimizing, I can see, using it on index and weekly trade setups. So it's kind of an pure actionable strategy from the industry expert himself. And for sure, definitely, if somebody wants to go for it, I would like to update the prices, which are, if as it is an introductory offer, the prices are 10,000. But if you enroll it, you are getting it on a discounted price as a member of Quantsapp, which is at 7,000 rupees. And we also conducted option symposium, wherein 11 different speakers, 11 different market experts, they actually disclosed their crisp and clear actionable strategies. And same is the content, and by the word mean actionable, it was an pure clear cut actionable strategies delivered by the experts themselves, which we do consider role model as. So yeah, eventually if somebody has been recently into the market, so you guys can obviously try it around, and definitely it would be a great addition in your bucket of strategies. So now, talking about the charges, let's say there is an exciting offer if you go ahead with the subscription, the annual subscription. So it would cost you around somewhere around 1,229 per month if billed annually. So annual subscription, it costs you around 14,750. Also, if you club it with any of the courses we saw, okay, either it can be Jyoti ma'am's strategy, which is built around using Jodi Bhav. It can be Mr. Ritesh's strategy, which is built around OIPCR, or it can be Symposium. It can be any one of those. So you are getting it as a combo offer, wherein you will get it somewhere around 17,250, which includes 1 year of app subscription plus one of the courses over there, okay, which we already did saw. Also, talking about the exciting things which do excite me a lot is the options masterclass. So you guys can see it's basically an event wherein a pure actionable is going to be disclosed. Wherein if I click on it, so it is going to be it's going to be the both ways, wherein it is going to be online as well as in Mumbai as well. So wherein it is going to be on 21st of March, Sunday. You can register it now. The seats are very limited. So I can find out each and every minute detail on the website, and combining the options data, or I would say the derivative data, with the technical indicators. And when can an entry, how to read the candlestick patterns, high probability candlestick patterns, that would be also be a point of discussion. And talking about Jyoti ma'am, she has seen a lot, wherein she has 30 plus years of rich experience in the market itself, which is 3 decades, wherein she has seen situations like 2008 crash, market crash, black swan events, you name it, she has witnessed it practically. And trust me, if you are available on 21st of March on Sunday, you can either attend it online if you want to, like if you are from an city which is very way far off from Mumbai and you want to attend it online, you can do it that way. If you want to attend it in Mumbai but the seats would be limited, so you need to register as soon as possible. So I can see, so the workshop's cost is 10,000. Okay, only about the workshop. Offer is valid till 7th of March. And workshop plus the application, so we already did saw the application's cost is 14,750, but you are getting workshop, which is the options masterclass, wherein Miss Jyoti ma'am and Mr. Dipesh Mehta, who is involved in the research team at Quantsapp. And I can see basically it would be costing me around 20,000 rupees if I go for application plus the workshop. So yeah, if you guys are interested and pretty keen, looking to enhance your learning part with regards to the options, and if you are finding out any sorts of difficulties, if you have any sorts of queries, so you can simply post us your query in our mail ID, which is support@concept.com. So yeah, I guess that was it from my side for today. And thank you so much for joining the session. Have a great day.